I want to say something else up front. I'm standing here because about 180 years ago, when I first got elected to the Senate, Gov, the UAW elected me.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths, and bearded like the pard.
To that breaking news, Judy, Chopper 7 HD above the Dan Ryan, where this is happening. A man on a horse is riding with cars, and it looks like motorcyclists as well. I haven't seen any police yet, but I know some calls have gone in, so we're trying to determine why this guy's doing this. But it's slowing traffic down behind him right during the rush. This is a bad time to be doing this, and it's also illegal.
I should die.
No, put the gun down, Juice.
It made for riveting television. The recreation of the day a suicidal O.J. Simpson held a gun to his head as he fled cops in a white Ford Bronco. But how realistic were the scenes in the hit FX miniseries, The People vs. O.J. Simpson? You be the judge. This is the TV recreation of the chase, a phalanx of cop cars trailing at low speed. And this is the real thing that fateful day, June 17, 1994. Pretty close. In this scene from the miniseries, a crowd cheers encouragement from an overpass. Go OJ! Go OJ! This is how it really looked. This is Simpson's best friend, Al Cowlings, played by actor Malcolm Jamal Warner, driving the Bronco.
You tell the cops to back off, all right?
And this is the real Al Cowlings at the wheel as Simpson huddles in the back, a gun to his head.
This is AC. I have OJ in the car. You gotta tell the police to just back off. He's still alive, but he got a gun to his head.
Detective Tom Lang was on the phone with Simpson that day, trying to get him to toss the weapon out the window.
If he comes out with that gun and he points it at somebody, they're going to drop him.
Some of the most dramatic moments of the incredible chase came as the Bronco returned to Simpson's house on North Rockingham Avenue in Brentwood. Here's the miniseries. Simpson's frantic son, Jason, runs up to the Bronco.
Get in the house! Get in the house!
And here's real life.
Sergeant Frank Drebin, Detective Lieutenant Police Squad.
Yeah, and I'm Robert De Niro.
Mr. De Niro, we've got to get inside.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to present the...
We're here to prevent a disaster.
You're too late for that.
That's the guy!
Starring Leslie Nielsen as Lieutenant Frank Drebin. Priscilla Presley as Jane. Anna Nicole Smith as Tanya. Fred Ward as Rocco.
Please, and nobody gets hurt.
Well, from now on.
Anna Nicole Smith as Tanya. George Kennedy as Ed. O.J. Simpson as Nordberg. And introducing Anna Nicole Smith as Naked Gun 33 1/3. The final insult.
So some cars moving behind him, but this is going to really mess things up. I can't tell, Judy, if those guys are helping him or trying to.
I was just going to ask you, do we have any more information on those who were on the motorcycle?
Oh, there it is. There's a cop. Trying to wave him off.
And the horse is going for it.
Yeah, so this is the first police officer we've seen now on the Dan Ryan as this gentleman rides his horse.
It was the joke heard around the world, the one by President Reagan about bombing the Soviet Union, and it resulted in a Soviet red alert, and it became a campaign issue in this country. Now, Marvin Kalb has learned that the Soviets responded in their own fashion.
The president was joking his way through an audio check on August 11th.
That I've signed legislation that will outlaw Russia forever. We begin bombing in 5 minutes.
By August 14th, the story became world news, a major item on Moscow television where the joke was not treated as a laughing matter.
Jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel. seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly with good cape and line, with eyes severe and beard of formal kind, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part.
Morning, dear. Hey, Nance, what a terrible dream. I'm parched. That's better. I could use another one of those.
The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful hose, well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank. And his big, manly voice, turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound.
When you hear the president of any party, say that the Justice Department, he called the Justice Department the deep state, he said the FBI's in tatters, what does that do?
It's totally, thoroughly, completely irresponsible and dangerous. It is totally irresponsible. Demoralizes the agency, number one, and it sends messages to incredibly ill-informed foreign leaders who are not our friends that are equally as dangerous.
Did you respond to the North Korea button question? What do you make of the button?
I just hope he doesn't touch it.
That's one heck of a nurse.
President Obama says Russia's recent actions in Ukraine are cause for concern, but he thinks terrorism, especially in our area, is a much greater threat.
Russia's actions are a problem. They don't pose the #1 national security threat to the United States. I continue to be much more concerned when it comes to our security with the prospect of a nuclear weapon going off in Manhattan.
Do it. We've got to do it. I would just bomb those suckers. And that's right. I'd blow up the pipes. I'd blow up the refinery. I'd blow up every single inch. There would be nothing left. And you know what? Somebody criticized me the other day because they asked me what I'd do, and I said, I'm going to bomb the out of them. It's true. I don't care. I don't care. They've got to be stopped.
When I search John McCain on YouTube, the biggest thing that comes up is you singing Bomb, 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 Bomb Iran. 744,000 hits in case you haven't checked it recently. Are you proud or embarrassed of that?
I'm proud. Look.
I mean, everybody thought I was a little nuts. Is in fact, it's going to be. What can a kid say? You got the vaccination? Yeah. Or whether those aliens are here or not.
Bomb Iran, bomb, 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 bomb. Anyway.
I would be launching airstrikes not only in Iraq, but in Syria.
Bomb Iran, bomb Iran.
We know that this virus is, in fact, it's going to be, or excuse me, what could they do? Portman is a congressman from this area. Xi Jinping in China. He's a bright and really tough guy. Over 600,000 people out there signing, 6 million people, whether or not there's a man on the moon or whatever, something. 4 years old, when you see a red light cross the street, whoa, boy, you why can't...
It crossed a lot of lines for me. When you kill innocent children, innocent babies, little babies.
I remember John McCain, saying bomb, 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 bomb Iran. I thought that was funny.
Last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
I must have dreamed 1,000 dreams, been haunted by a million screams,
England, young clubbers celebrated not only the end of lockdowns, but all COVID restrictions, partying in crowded venues on so-called Freedom Day at the start of the week.
Tonight, we ask, who is General al-Din? According to Wadiyan propaganda, Hafez al-Din was born in 1973. He did not know his mother, who died in childbirth. The only son of the savage dictator Omar al-Din, he gained power at the age of 7. Eccentric and with unlimited oil wealth, he recently hosted his own Olympic Games.
Get set.
At which he won 14 gold medals.
Locked in this prison, and we've got to stay and receive our punishment beatings till kingdom come.
Often described as ignorant, he changed over 300 Wadiyan words to al-Din, including the words positive and negative, causing mass confusion.
One man stands ready to deliver change we desperately need. A man I'm proud to call my friend. A man who will be the next president of the United States, Barack America. Hillary Clinton is as qualified or more qualified than I am to be vice president of the United States of America. Quite frankly, it might have been a better pick than me. Look, John's last-minute economic plan does nothing to tackle the number one job facing the middle class. And it happens to be, as Barack says, a 3-letter word, jobs. J-O-B-S, jobs. If we do everything right, we do it with absolute certainty. We stand up there and we make really tough decisions. There's still a 30% chance we're going to get it wrong. His mom lived in Long Island for 10 years or so. God rest her soul. And although your mom's still alive as your dad passed. God bless her soul. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America, Barack Obama.
Barack and I were raised with so many of the same values. Like, you work hard for what you want in life. That your word is your bond, that you do what you say you're going to do.
My parents impressed on me the values that you work hard for what you want in life. That your word is your bond, and you do what you say and keep your promise.
That you treat people with dignity and respect, even if you don't know them, and even if you don't agree with them.
That you treat people with respect. They taught and showed me values and morals in their daily life. That is a lesson that I continue to pass along to our son. And we need to pass those lessons on to the many generations to follow.
And Barack and I set out to build lives guided by these values and to pass them on to the next generation, because we want our children and all children in this nation to know that the only limit to the height of your achievements is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard for them.
Because we want our children in this nation to know that the only limit to your achievements is the strength of your dreams and your willingness to work for them.
You know, the leading paper in Washington has as a slogan, "Democracy dies in darkness." Joe and Kamala want darkness on the disaster that they have created. And not only that, they're proposing to make it worse. Joe Biden is now talking about ending Title 42. Title 42 is the tool that has allowed us to prevent people with COVID from being released into this country. We're in a pandemic. Joe Biden likes to talk about what a priority he puts on the pandemic. Understand this. If the Biden administration ends Title 42, they will be releasing illegal immigrants in your community who are COVID positive. We're seeing COVID positivity rates rising in South Texas. We're seeing COVID positivity rising in Laredo. We're seeing COVID positivity rising in San Antonio. Just yesterday, I spoke with the mayor of Uvalde, Texas, who said as a result of the illegal immigrants being released in Uvalde, they're seeing COVID positivity spiking up. And Biden wants to release even more COVID positive illegal immigrants. This is lunacy. This week I introduced legislation, the SHIELD Act, with a number of senators up here, to codify Title 42 and to stop Joe Biden and Kamala Harris from releasing illegal immigrants in our communities who are positive for COVID. If you don't want to see this pandemic come back with the Delta variant, or most of these illegal immigrants coming in haven't been vaccinated. They're being put in cages with other people who are COVID positive. They're spreading COVID and then releasing COVID in our communities. This is lunacy. It is lawless. And the only reason Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are doing it is because they are captive to the extreme radical left of their party. Everyone else who believes in common sense ought to say enough is enough. And let's not make the pandemic worse by making this crisis at the border even worse than it already is.
Do you want the Aladdin news or the Aladdin news?
The Aladdin news?
You are HIV Aladdin?
I'm not saying that guns are the only reason that mass shootings continue to occur. We are saying that they factor in, and we are demanding that someone repeat the experiment that so many other countries have carried out and simply see if it yields the same results. Enough is enough!
This is the world you are graduating into. This is what I want to talk about today with you for a few minutes. To lead in shaping a new world order for the 21st century.
Footage has emerged of the former Vice President Creepy F. Biden, with young children and with the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. We just want to play these clips and want to warn you that what you're about to see is very disturbing. Now, obviously, the behavior that you're seeing here fits the profile of a pedophile. Obviously, nobody out there would take liberties with other people's children like Creepy Joe Biden does. And there's just tons of footage of him out there touching children inappropriately, caressing them, massaging them, basically grooming them, and making them feel basically awkward in their own skin. And this is part of the pedophile process. This is part of the virus that we're dealing with in terms of these spirit cookers.
This is the moment Japan's nuclear disaster began. A giant tsunami wave crashes into the Fukushima Daiichi power plant.
So I have just one word for Mr. Trump. Basta. Enough!
It's been a long time coming. But tonight, because of what we did on this day, in this election, at this defining moment, change has come to America.
Wind gusts around 90 miles per hour shredded the giant American flag that flies high outside Acuity Assurance in Sheboygan. Lance Allen shares the work that was done to properly replace it.
We call it the world's tallest symbol of freedom.
So imagine the shock last night when Acuity's American flag was torn.
That is by far the most damaged I've ever seen one of our flags. Yeah, it was, I've never seen anything like it. But the main thing is to make sure that we're always keeping it off the ground, whether it's going up or coming down.
But a bright line in the sand, and we will protect you, that I can tell you, and we will say enough is enough.
Paris Jackson is bashing Wendy Williams, who just fainted on live TV. Paris apparently believes the spirit of her dad, the late Michael Jackson, caused Wendy to collapse because the talk show host has a toxic and unhealthy obsession with the Jackson family. Before Wendy fainted in her Lady Liberty costume, her Hot Topics included a story about the latest Jackson family drama.
It's time for a Jackson family update.
Now Paris is tweeting, looks like someone from above had enough of her blank and decided to clock her for not keeping his kids' names out of her mouth.
It was scary. It was really scary.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these things simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
If we turn against each other based on divisions of race or religion,
Come on, try getting it out. Ding, 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 ding.